She was the Countess of Wessex back then, and now she's, what's her name? Thank you, Duchess of Edinburgh, that's right, Sophie. She's lovely. And on her first visit, Joseph introduced his Shire horse to her. And we had two Shire horses at the time, one Luther and one Catherine. And if you know your Reformation stuff, you'll know we've named it after Martin Luther, okay? So Joseph introduces his Shire horse to her and says, "Hi ma'am, this is Luther, my Shire horse." And she says, "Oh, I love horses." "Yeah. We've named him Luther, ma'am." She says, "Yeah, that's a lovely name." "Yes, he was a Christian man." And I know where he's going. So then she says, "Yeah, I knew he was a Christian." Then he goes, "Are you a Christian?" And he points at her with the other hand whilst he's holding the horse in this hand. And she like ums and ahs, and she says, "Right, I think I am, Joseph." And he goes, "Ma'am, there's no good thinking. You need to know whether you're a Christian or not." It's the first thing on his mind. I want to introduce you to a horse. Now I need to introduce you to Jesus. But he's beautiful. He really is. But the farm is his home. Caring for Life is his home. He feels happy there, safe there. Caring for Life has become a safe place for many people. A haven, away from the storms, away from being judged for how you look or for how you may behave. And that's what the Lord does for us, is he is a refuge for the brokenhearted. And that's all we seek to be, a refuge for the brokenhearted. A place where people can come to find peace and rest in Jesus more than anything else. Joseph also has just real passion for prayer. And he'll often say, "Shall we pray for this situation?" I mean, the world scene at the moment is awful, isn't it? There's so much going on that should grieve us. Sad reality is this: with all the turmoil that would go on, the vulnerable go even lower down the list. That's the truth. It's the truth. And we need to pray for our world. But Joseph is so prayerful for the world. And occasionally, Joseph's got mild learning disabilities, huge heart. Sometimes he gets the words slightly wrong. So often he'll say, "Are you going to church this weekend?" I'll say, "Yes, I am, Joseph." He'll say, "Is it one of those aromatic churches?" I'll say, "Joe, I'm sure they'll smell lovely, but no, they're just like you and me. The Baptist church like us." He's gorgeous. But there was one particular day he came in to the prayer meeting. We have a prayer meeting at Caring for Life. All the staff come together, and any of the beneficiaries that come to the farm that day can join us at 8:30 every single morning. And he often brings prayer points. And one particular week, he said, "We need to pray for Scotland." Now, I find that hard at the best of times. But anyway, he said, "We need to pray," forgive me if you're Scottish, I'm from Scotland. But he says, "We need to pray for Scotland." I said, "Why is that, Joe?" He said, "Yeah, there are wicked women in Scotland." I said, "What are you on about wicked women, Joseph?" I said, "There's wicked women everywhere." "No, there's wicked women in Scotland." I said, "I just don't understand what you're talking about." He said, "Yeah, wicked women." I said, "Where did you hear that?" It was on the news. I said, "Wicked women, is that what they actually said?" Well, he said, "No." He said, what they actually said on the news was there's these bad girls doing terrible things. I said, "And what kind of things are these terrible girls doing?" He said, "They're smashing windows, they're damaging cars, and all sorts." I said, "Well, I watched the news, I didn't see anything about wicked women or bad girls, so where was this?" He said, "Well, it was after the sport." I said, "Do you mean the weather forecast?" "Yeah, that's right." I said, "You mean the bad gales in Scotland?" So he just got slightly the wrong end of the stick. That's our Joseph. He's gorgeous. But yeah, if you came to visit us at the farm, you'd be amazed by the people in the fact that they're happy people. Laughter and joy, welcoming you onto their side. It's not always like that, not when they first of all come. The work that we do, it really has three wings to it. I know you've got two in a third, but there's three elements to what we do. The first is the housing support team that goes out into the community. We go across the city of Leeds, ministering to about 150 people every single week. Who live in real isolation. Maybe they're struggling to make ends meet, maybe they're not on the right benefits and they really are in great need, but they haven't got food. But in the midst of all of that, you've got mental health issues, you've got all sorts of addiction issues, you've got all sorts of stuff, all sorts of traumas because they may be in that situation because of abuse and all sorts of things. And we've got the supported living home, and then we've got some flats for people who are going to struggle to survive without support in relation to their housing. So we've got a lovely home for ladies, some vulnerable ladies living in a home that belongs to us. And then we have the farm, where we've got all sorts of different daytime activities. But underlying all of that, we're seeking to take every opportunity to talk to people about the Lord. So we'll be doing some ploughing quite soon, ploughing up some fields, and we'll be talking about the birds coming down and picking the seeds out of the soil as we're ploughing away. And we'll talk about what happens when they disappear off and they pull out that seed somewhere else, and then something grows, and then you see all these flies coming around it. And we'll talk about the God who made it all, and the God who glorifies himself through all of this amazing creation. We've got calves being born as we speak on the farm, and then lambs in the next month will be born. And then we'll talk about the lamb who was slain. We use every opportunity, because I think everything speaks to the glory of God. That's what we seek to do at Caring for Life. And the fact that we go and minister and try and find houses and try and walk alongside with people, we go, it's the Lord who sent us. It's the Lord whose love is flowing through us. We're imperfect. We'll mess up. We'll let you down. But he'll never let you down. And it's amazing how many people have responded to that over the years, and they've given their lives to the Lord. My friend Anthony, it was a miracle he came to faith, considering what he went through. And in his baptism, he said, I don't know why the things happened to me that they did, but I know there is a God who loves me. The Bible tells me so. And the day before he became unresponsive, just 3 weeks ago, I read Psalm 121 to him, reminding him to look to Jesus, to lift his eyes to Jesus. And we prayed together. I said, he's with you, don't you forget that. And that night, he became unresponsive. A week later, he went to be with him. We have many more that we need to reach. And the Lord has sent us to reach. The world's eyes are unreachable, but they're not unreachable. Because you see, here's the thing, the love of God is this. It is a practical love. When you look at all of those passages, it's practical love that God is calling us to. When you think of Jesus as an example, meeting different people in all sorts of different circumstances, he didn't just stay in the synagogue all day long, did he? He was out there. His love is personal. It meets people on their level. Now, his grace doesn't leave people there. It transforms them. Of course, in this world, it doesn't take away all of the pain and all of the memories. That will happen when we see Jesus face to face in the new heaven and the new earth. But you see, when you put together a practical love and a personal love in the name of Christ, you know what happens? Powerful things happen. Lives are changed. Remember that Psalm 41 verse 1. Blessed are those who consider the poor, for they'll be delivered in times of trouble. Number one, it's a command, and commanded to care for the weak, or weak, depends what version you're reading. Number two, it's crucial for our lives when we receive a blessing. I don't mind your blessing, do you? The Lord promises us a blessing if we consider the weak. But this is what we've seen more than anything. It's compelling to the lost when you love in his name, when you're different to the world. It causes people to say, why? And we go, because he died to save us. That's why. That's why we live in his name. So that's us in a nutshell. I'm going to stop there, I think. So how long have I been? I've not been too bad, have I? Right, Erin's going to go and share with you just about somebody that she is supporting, who's working with on the ground. How long have I been about? What time did we start?
3 o'clock.
Ooh, not 45 minutes. I've got another 2 hours in a minute. All right, Erin, come and share some.